Hi, everyone. Welcome to Sheepish, episode 34. Today is Sunday, March 16th, 2014, and I'm Holly. I always feel like I should say something different there, and I'm not sure what. Like, I feel like I should call you guys something because I love you guys so much that, I should call you sweetie, darling. Well, I could go with sweetie, darling, but that's totally ab-fab. Sorry. Anyway, how is everybody? It's another podcast in 2 weeks. Two podcasts. What is this madness? I decided today that since there's a Caps game at 3, and I'm going to be home watching that instead of trying to get up super early and going and trying to get a manicure and pedicure because I am a princess about that sometimes, before the game, that I would spend time with you guys. Actually, and it sounded like it was a much nicer option anyway. So I apologize for the nails. They're usually not that bad, although sometimes they are. Yeah, whatever. But I apologize for them. They'll be pretty again next week, hopefully. Anyway, how has your week been? Mine, if you follow me on Instagram, you saw the picture of stress knitting that I posted. So it's been stressful. The stress is not going to go away anytime soon at work. I wish it would. Hopefully it'll get better at the end of the month, but it's all good because of a work thing, but at the same time, there's just lots of stress. So, Anyway, so I hope you guys have had a much less stressful week than I have. Let's go ahead and get started with what's happening at Shea Sheepish. So I have heard back from both Andrea and Bethany on prizes, and I am looking for good prizes for you guys, and I will send those out. Well, I'll send Andrea's out as soon as I can. It might not be till next weekend because that's generally the first time that I'll have to go to a post office. But we'll see if I can do that sometime this week because I'd rather get it out sooner rather than later. Bethany, I know that you sent me a message on Rab just saying I could do either. Um, I'll leave it up to you whether you want to meet up at Fiberspace or have it mailed. I have no problem either way. I am generally at Fiberspace on Saturdays right now because I've got a beginning class that I teach at 2. So anytime before that's good. Just let me know. I'll send you this in a private message as well. You can see that I'm in at a slightly different angle. I'm actually in the very same location that I normally record at, but a slightly different angle. And part of the reason is that I have a window right here, and this is actually where my desktop sits. And since I've been having such lighting issues lately, I decided that I was going to go ahead, play with the settings on the camera, and just face the window. It seems like it's the easiest thing to do. So yeah, we're going to try this. We're going to see. Sorry about any mess that you see in the background. But yeah, we're going to give this a try. We'll see how this works. Let me know if you like this, if you think that this is a better or a worse shot than what I've been doing. And I can always try and play with the lighting because normally I'm sitting in that direction. And I just have the camera set up. And it still records to my desktop. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway. So let's go ahead and start with the current roster. I'm not bringing Hero out. I haven't touched it in weeks. It will get touched. It will get done. I just can't deal with it right now. I've just got so many other things that I need to do and really with all the stress at work, my knitting time has been precious and few. So I haven't been working on things that I haven't wanted to work on that have either been a slog or whatever. So that also means that the Kennebec cowl is still in the armoire here. I need to get that one out and finish it, but I can't be bothered right now. So that that leaves two projects that are completely active. And living in my Slip Stitch Studios Harry Potter bag, sock plus bag, is the second sock to my monkey socks. So I haven't gotten a lot done on it since, well, actually, no. I'm like, you guys haven't seen this since I got it cast on. So I've got a lot done on it. I take that back. So I was about here when I showed you this last week. Now, the majority of the ribbing was done, actually, I believe all the rest of the ribbing was done when I went to Michelle's on last Sunday night and hung out with her. The rest of this has been stress knitting this week. And you would think that I would have gotten more done with stress knitting, but sometimes it gets to that point when I stress, I know that I shouldn't be knitting because my gauge is all wonky when I stress. So kind of like I tell my beginning students, I'm like, when I'm explaining about gauge, I always say that gauge is yarn plus needles plus knitter, because depending on how you're feeling that day, your gauge can be loosey-goosey or it can be super, super tight. I mean, and for me, I'm generally a 2-gauge knitter, fairly average, but when I stress, I knit tightly. So I am on 2, and I just started the 3rd repeat, and I'm doing them 2/6, so I'm doing mostly 2 pattern, written to pattern. I've doubled the length of the cuff, though. And on the first one, when I put that on, that made it a little bit tighter. It is a twisted rib, but I wanted the 2 of these to match, so I'll get over it. But this is being knit out of, oh my goodness, that's really true for once. It's beautiful. It's being knit out of Unwind Yarn Company's Journey Sock. Oh, excuse me while I go out of frame for a second. Bag dropped. It's the Journey Sock in the Water Lilies colorway, and this was part of the Two Crafty Girls yarn club. And you guys have heard me talk about that the last 2 podcasts, so I'm not going to explain that anymore. But I'm still sad. But yeah, I love this yarn. And it looks like I'm going to have a fair amount left over, so I really need to work on the quilt squares too, because this will be pretty. I love this yarn. It's got a great hand to it. It's an 80-20. It's either 80-20 or 75-25, but I believe 80-20. Superwash merino and nylon. And it's just got such a lovely hand, and Dana does such a great job at dyeing. She dyes in like these short color repeats and like these speckly bits, and it's just beautiful. This sock, more than the other one, I'm not going to grab the other one, but this sock really does remind me of his Monet's water lily paintings. Particularly one that was a diptych, I believe, on the walls of the Tuileries. I can never say that correctly, so excuse me, my phone is dinging. Okay. So that's that. We'll leave that. And then in my Fat Squirrel bag of all the companions, yay! I love this bag. Lives my Albers cowl, which I think I'm going to absolutely shamelessly borrow from the name from Amanda. She has called her Doctor Who inspired Albers the timey-wimey cowl, or timey-wimey Albers, but I think it's timey-wimey cowl. I think that I want to call this the wibbly wobbly timey-wimey cowl, just because. And yeah, I hope you're okay with that, Amanda. But you guys have seen this. This is square 1 or square 2 in the pattern, but whatever. This is my Christopher Eccleston square. Ooh, and that really does look very true. So there is that. But look, my David Tennant square is finished. It's a little more wonky because I didn't have the pattern with me so I could verify numbers to pick up, but I was doing it from memory, and yeah, so I picked up a few extra here and there. It's okay. But David Tennant's done. Yay! So there is that, which means I have cast on for the Matt Smith square. So this is the center square. This is being knit out of Miss Bab's Yummy Toes in the Ansel colorway. And it is 100% merino. So this is the yarn. Ooh. Okay, that's washing out now. Oh, that's a little better. So you can see, okay, hi, focus. There we go. So you can see all of the different shades of gray going into charcoal and the white. I got this because the yarn itself kind of looked tweedy to me. And, okay, focus. Are you really not going to focus? Yeah, it's not going to focus. It's going to wash out. Well, the yarn kind of looks tweedy. Oh, you can kind of see how it's going there. It still looks tweedy to me. I'm liking it. I am still unsure how I'm going to wash and block these with all the vivid colors. I have some of the Shout color catchers. So we're gonna see. I know people who swear by them, and I think that for at least this block, but I think that it's probably smart for all of the blocks as I wash them, and I need to start blocking them to throw one in there so I can catch any extra dye. But yeah, so that's living in this with the other colors that I'm going to be using. So the Ansel, the Unknown Red, and I really wish I could figure out what this is. It's beautiful. It's not Dragonfly. It's not Tosh. I don't know. But it's beautiful. So there's that. As well as Neighborhood Fiber Company. The two colors here. I always forget what this one, what the name of that one is. And you would think, oh, there it is, Druid Hill. And the purple is 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. So there's that. It makes for great stress knitting. It's also good pocky knitting because I can throw it down, pick it up, and not have to worry about it too much. So that brings me to the cross stitch portion of this. So I took a picture of this on Instagram last night. Again, if you're following me on Instagram, you saw this, or you will see this. But I have finished the March block. Now, there are tons of errors in here. I'm okay with them. I really am. Because when I realized where the errors were, and they're all on this side, I wasn't going to rip back. I basically looked at that and said a few expletives and then said no. There are a couple, like there's an actual, like between the pigs here, there's an extra row or extra column. Meh. It all works out. It looks cute. If I hadn't pointed it out and you didn't have the pattern, you may not have noticed. But yeah, so now I'm starting on the border. I've been so lazy about getting the border up and running that I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be working on that the rest of the month. This has been great. This has been great stress crafting because I'm really not pulling the fabric. It's like I can really only do so much with this, and I'm just, the sense of accomplishment has been nice and has been able to calm me down. So yeah. So hopefully I'll have more of that border done the next time I record. But the three little pigs are done. Yay! Yeah, that still means that there are no FOs. Nothing to add to the alumni roster. But the scouting report. Oh, the scouting report. Actually, the scouting report's not that bad. I happened to, on Instagram, I was tagged in an update from Elspeth, from Ellie, who is the hostess of Ellies It Insanity, as well as the dyer for Ellies It Insanity. Yeah, she tagged me in a post that showed up some stuff that was going up in the shop. I saw it late, but there was still stuff in the shop. So, yeah. This came home with me, or this got mailed to me. It was a good mail day. And this is Ellie's logo, her sheepy. And if you've gone to her blog, it's actually on the blog page. So I don't know how this came undone, but I'm going to tie that back up. So this is her sock, barrack sock, I think it says. And it's the Delirium colorway inspired by Neil Gaiman's Sandman. And it's 75 superwash wool, 25 nylon, and about 400 meters. Let's see if you can kind of see all of the different colors. Now, this is bluer than I normally go for, but it's lovely. And I love that you get like little pops of color here and there. But that's not all. I also got her Rologs, or one of her Rologs. Sorry about the crinkling. And I'm not going to take them out completely, although I might. Yeah, you can see. Apparently, I was on a blue kick. I could have sworn these were more purple in the picture, but I'm okay with them because they're beautiful. But this is the I See You colorway as inspired by Avatar. I haven't watched the movie, so. Yeah, I know I'm the last person on earth who hasn't watched. And these are 50% baby camel, 50% Tessa silk with a touch of sparkle. So, Ellie, they're beautiful. I love them dearly. And in case you don't know, Ellie's It Insanity, you can find her on Etsy, Ellies It Insanity. And you can find her on, I believe her podcast is now just on YouTube. So you can look her up. And she's Elspeth81 on Ravelry. But you guys all know this because it's a small community. We're friends. We're all friends here. Yay. Yeah, that wasn't the only thing. I think somebody tweeted about, either somebody tweeted or somebody put it on Instagram, because I've been on Instagram most often lately, about the color wheel having an update. Yeah. This is going to be a warning to Fru. What I'm going to hold up is oh so very Fru. You may squee. I'm just saying. Yeah. So, this is the striped rainbow colorway. And holy mo, this is really rainbowy. This is kind of awesome. And this is in the Color Wheel Strong Sock. I'm going to, hold that correctly. The Color Wheel is found on Etsy. But this is the Strong Sock. It's about 400 yards, and it's got stripes of red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet. Totally Roy G. Biv. So very awesome. That wasn't, because, you know. And when I was on there, because I went on there specifically and saw that and went, cart. But then I was like, I can't just get that. because, you know, I'm broken. So I got this. And so this colorway is called Becca. It's in her sparkle sock base. And you've got stripes of silver, purple, orange, green, and navy. These are colors that I normally don't gravitate towards, but they're beautiful. And like this green is like this dark teal almost. And honestly, the name got me because the name reminded me of Pitch Perfect and one of the Anna Kendrick's character, and that is named Becca. I don't know if it has anything to do with that, the name of this, but this is beautiful. So, and it's still been a good mail week because I'm not done. So I get some of my cross stitch supplies from the Cottage Needle on Etsy. They are a wonderful company to work with. And they're just so nice, and shipping is fast, and they add little gifties in their packages. So like the last time I ordered from them, I got one of their fancy needles. This time they sent me a needle threader. Do I need a needle threader? No. Is it nice to have one? Absolutely. Absolutely. So they sent that in with the package. So the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery put out a new pattern. Oh, why is the name escaping me? I have it. Oh, let's see. Give me a second. I will tell you what it is in a moment. And if you follow the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery on Facebook or on Instagram, or if you follow Amanda from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, she's Hey Pork Chop on Instagram, and her blog is McPorkChopQuilts.blog. If you look up Hey Pork Chop, it'll come up. Oops. Frosted. I'm like, now I have to find the name. It's the Sugar is Sweet sampler. Oh my goodness, it's absolutely cute. And I forget why. I don't know if they sent me a newsletter update or something, but somehow I found out that the Cottage Needle was putting together a package, a kit. So in this, and I'm not going to take this out because I already have, and yeah, or I'm not going to take this out of the packaging, I should say. But, oh my God, I'm a sucker for good packaging. It's wrapped in tissue paper with a little thank you sticker. I'm a sucker for good packaging. But in here is the fabric that I will need. They gave you the option to order it with needles or without. So I picked the option to order it with needles because you really can never have enough cross-stitch needles. Because they really are kind of like, they're kind of like darning needles. You can never find them when you need them. So it's always good to have extras. And all the floss that I will need for this pattern. Some of these colors I already had, but that's okay because again, you can never use too many of them, and I will probably do something stupid and run out. So I have these. So awesome. So thank you so much to the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And one thing that I love that they do, even though I'm never interested in them, but I love that they do it. They include little free sample charts. So this is a March 1, got luck. And the designer is plumstreetsamplers.typepad.com. I never do these, like any of the the sampler or the ones that they throw in. But it's really sweet, and I'm glad that they do that. And it really just makes me want to buy more and more and more from them. And I need to remember that I have to, yeah, I have to work on this on the year-long sampler, and I'm going to try and work on the sugar is sweet as well. I'm thinking that the sugar is sweet might go to a friend, one of my many friends. It seems like all of a sudden I've got a ton of friends who are having kids. So it might go to one of them. We'll see. But yeah, so that's it for the scouting report. So not very long at all. I mean, I didn't go crazy. I think I've still got some stuff out there that's coming to me, but what else? What else? I'm good. So yeah, that brings us to what's making me happy this week. Since I've been so stressed, it's really hard to remember things that make me happy. Part of that, and that's part of the reason why I'm thinking about starting the 100 Days of Happy Challenge. You guys have seen this. Fiona Fifikins from a Down Under Yarn podcast has been doing it on Instagram. My bestie's been doing it on Instagram. We'll see. We will see. But yeah, I've been thinking about doing that just to remind me. This month has been crazy. Actually, the last month and a half has been fairly crazy, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon. Which again, like I said, for work, that's good. But at the same time, I'm like, I need a break. So I need to remember to take time to notice that the small things in life that make me happy. So I'm thinking about starting that. Again, I say this a lot and then I peter out, so I'm not sure if I'm actually going to do it or if I'm just going to kind of catalog it in my head. We'll see. But I do need to make sure to do that. But like I said, there's a game in a few hours. 3.5. It's 11:30 now. So there's a game in a few hours. Hopefully we'll do well. We won on Friday. It was not a pretty game, but we won, which is good because every win is important right now. We have 12 games left, I believe. Yeah. We just want to make it into the playoffs, and I don't know if that's going to happen. I've steeled myself in case it doesn't. Another thing that's making me happy is that I'm going to see my bestie in a couple of weeks. She's coming out from Ohio for a friend's wedding that she's in and that I'm doing a reading at. So I can't wait to see her and hang out with her, hopefully get a chance to hang out with the bride a little bit more. Yeah. Michelle is actually going through and doing her final buffet for pastry school. I know I mentioned it a few times in the past that she's been going to pastry school, and so she's doing her final buffet this Friday. So I get to see her on Friday and get to taste all of the wonders that her class have made for this final buffet. I will try and get pictures if she'll let me. But I'm so proud of her. And yeah. Yeah. Michelle knows all of this, but much love. Good luck. I will be there. I'm actually planning on trying to leave work early on Friday so I can make sure that I can get there in time. Because where I work right now, it's just easy. It would be easiest to make the most sense for me to drive, which I don't have a problem with. It's just driving in rush hour and trying to get to Gaithersburg from Tyson's might be a little crazy. So I want to make sure that I'm there on time, early if at all possible. So it's not like I don't have things that can occupy me in a car to wait. So I'm going to try to leave work early on Friday. One thing that is not making me happy this week is the forecast. I haven't been out today, but the last couple of days have been lovely. Yesterday was practically balmy. It was in the high 50s, low 60s yesterday. I was wearing a t-shirt. Like I had like my cotton cardigan that I just kind of throw over everything that really is shapeless and kind of ugly, but I don't care. I got it for like 10 bucks at the Gap and I wear it on top of everything as a layering piece. Um, yeah, it was gorgeous and it's like I wore that to the shop when I went to teach and it was just so warm when I left that I didn't put it back on. It was that lovely out and I was able to roll down my windows in the car. Yeah, I did this because I don't have automatic windows. Um, but I was able to ride with, the driver's window down and it was, oh. And then again, if you follow me on Instagram, a lot of this is on Instagram. Um, I came home. I actually came, yeah, I came home after that because I had left my debit card here at the house for whatever reason. I have a bad habit of sticking it in my jeans pocket when I'm at work instead of taking my entire purse down to grab food and not putting it back in the wallet. Yeah. So I had accidentally left it here, which was good when I was at the shop because it meant that I couldn't buy anything. But yeah. So when I got home, because I needed to run another errand, I noticed that there were two daffodils that magically were growing in the yard. We have never planted daffodils that I know of. And the placement of these daffodils in the yard, like we used to have, and we still kind of do have this bed that we planted roses in once upon a time, and of 3 rose bushes, only one is still living. Um, but this is like 4 or 5 feet out, well, maybe 3 or 4 spatial relations. Yeah. And they're just randomly growing there. So we've never planted daffodils. They just kind of show up every once in a while. And they'll show up in different places. So I'm not sure how they're getting there, but they're getting there. When I was growing up, at the side of our house, the driveway wasn't paved, so we had some dirt there. And it was not a good place for anything to grow, but there was one daffodil that would grow at the side of the house every year. And it was unusual in that it was a multicolored daffodil. Nobody could explain this, but it grew every year. And then when we paved the side of the house, obviously it stopped growing because we paved over that. But I've always loved daffodils. They are the first sign of spring. So seeing that yesterday was so awesome. It made me really think that spring is around the corner. However, we are projected to get 4 to 6 inches. Maybe it's 6 to 8, but between 4 and 8 inches of snow tomorrow. Mother Nature, you and I are going to have words. Words. I'm so sick of snow. And I mean, and this isn't even as bad as friends in Maine. Heather, I'm so sorry you have to deal with more snow. So yeah, I understand that this isn't as bad as other parts of the country. But this is a lot for this area, and I'm so over it. So bloody over it. Sorry. But anyway, so that I'm not happy about. But then going back to things that I'm happy about. When I moved, I lost track of my food processor. I've been told that it's in the shed somewhere. But yeah, I haven't been able to find it. And I haven't really looked too hard in the shed, but it wasn't a great food processor. So I decided that I needed a new one. But I was holding off until I had a reason to. And I had 2 friends, my bestie and my friend Cal. post on Facebook the other night. Well, Kel posted that she had made sweet potato hash and had ground beef, like seasoned ground beef, and a fried egg on top of that. And she couldn't stop eating it. And so my bestie decided that she was going to give it a try. And she talked about how good it was. And they both posted links to a blog. I believe it's called Nom Nom Paleo. Now, my friend Kel is completely paleo. Um, Danny and I, we dabble in it. Like, I could eat paleo. There are lots of things that they don't allow that I don't care about. And then there are things that I do care about. Not allowed to have wine. Um, so, but if I can substitute a meal or two each week in with a paleo meal, that's awesome. Now, I'm not somebody that loves sweet potatoes. I actually don't like them at all. I'm not a fan of sweet potato chips or fries, although there is one place in Columbus, I believe it's called the Tip Top Bar or something. CDs all get out. But oh my God, the sweet potato fries are awesome. And on Sunday when I went to hang out with Michelle and she cooked for me, she wanted to try this food delivery service. It like delivers a meal, like three meals worth of food for two people. And so she wanted to try this one meal out on me. And so part of it was sweet potato fries or sweet potato chips. And those were good. They were a little spicy, but those were good. So I think I'm learning to like them more in my older age. Um, but I really wanted to give this a try. I realized that I need to actually get more. Like, I love me a potato. I love me a regular potato, but I need to get more of the healthy kind of starch in the diet if I'm gonna have a starch. So yeah, I tried it. I got a food processor so I could actually use that to shred because I wasn't going to use a regular shredder because that just equals bad idea. So yeah, so I did that and I seasoned that all up with all sorts of different herbs. Like the recipe basically just calls for a handful of dried herbs and says what she used. But since I didn't have access to what she used, I basically added herbs de Provence, some basil, um, salt and pepper, some garlic. I didn't add onion in there. It calls for like garlic powder and onion powder. And I did add the garlic powder in. I didn't add the onion powder in because I didn't have any and I really don't. Yeah. But yeah. And I fried that up and oh my goodness, it was good. I mean, and it never got to the point where it was really super crispy. I kind of wanted it to be a little bit more crispy, but I think that the pan was just so overloaded at the time. Like it all basically shrunk down. But I think, and there was just a lot of moisture in that. And so if I do it again, which I will at some point, I will actually shred the potatoes well in advance and then just let them drain and try and get as much moisture out as possible. And then I did the ground beef and like I just seasoned that. And then I added shredded onion, shredded celery, and diced carrot to it as well. I don't like fried eggs. My parents do. Yeah, did a fried egg for Dad. And he's very much like me when it comes to sweet potatoes. We're not fans. But I got the highest compliment from him, and he's my toughest critic in that he went, I would eat this again. At first he said, this is edible, which in itself is a compliment from him. But then he came by afterwards and he's just like, I would eat that again. Okay then. So I don't know what's gotten into what struck this in me to just try a few recipes. But yeah, I love cooking. I don't do it nearly enough. I just don't have time, honestly. And I know I could make time, blah blah blah, but it seems like when I'm at home, I'm just so tired. Well, because it's been stressful. I've been working. I actually need to get some work done today, and I'm trying to put it off, but I need to get some done today. So I guess while this is compressing, I'll do some of that too. But yeah, I think. Oh, one more. What's making me happy? And I've had this for a couple of weeks, um, but I got a Kindle Fire HDX, whatever. I have a bad habit of home shopping channels. Um, I will put home shopping on just in the background because I like to have noise in the background. So I'll put it on the background and not pay attention to it. I try not to because I then tend to fall down and buy stuff, which is how this purchase happened. It's a 32 gig Kindle Fire HDX. I got this a couple weeks ago. I've been playing around with it. And it's not nearly as intuitive as an iPad. I love my iPad. I will never give up my iPad. I've been toying with the idea of getting a tablet, like a Samsung tablet or something, just because I am a tech geek. But I do like, whoops, that I've got some apps on here. I wasn't able to find all the apps that I wanted, but I do have some on here. I've got Candy Crush because I can't stop playing Candy Crush. But one of the things that I love, and I could do this with my iPad, but is that I can read books on this. And I have read books on my iPad, but it's bigger. Like, of course, my iPad is nowhere around. That's odd that I didn't bring that down. Let's see. I had to have brought that down. Apparently not. But I have an old case for it because it's got a new case. Sorry, all that. So old case for the iPad and my Kindle. So you can see that there's a pretty big difference. So this makes it a lot easier to read. But one of the things that I never did with my iPad, because it was always kind of big and bulky to read, was to borrow ebooks from the library. I've started doing that. So I am 60% of the way through a biography of Catherine the Great. I only bring that up because for last week's podcast, Ellie actually commented on my nail polish, and I told her that it was Catherine the Grape by OPI because I was reading a biography of Catherine the Great. And yeah, we both loved the fact that I was geeking out over books as well. Anyway, I think that's enough babbling. Wow, this was going to be like a 25-minute episode, and then I got into the What's Making Me Happy segment, and I looked down and we're at 43 minutes. Me. Anyway, I hope everybody has a great week. I will try to record again next week, but next week is the wedding. So next weekend's the wedding, so it may not be for a couple weeks. At which time I'll do a drawing for March, because that'll be April. Anyway, have a great week, everybody. I will see you next time. If you'd like to reach me during the week, you can email me at sheepishpodcast@gmail.com. I am on Ravelry as Knit Girl, spelled conventionally, and on Instagram as KnitGirl726. Have a great week, everybody. Continue to knit, stitch, and crochet on. Bye.